Welcome back, Officers Republic. It's your Coruscant Royal Police Chief APGAINS. I really quickly wanted to touch on something that we talked about last night on stream, and I haven't really seen covered too much, or at all. So, really quickly, Krayt Dragon Raid looks cool. Yay, new raid, new content, easily repeatable. We'll have new raids. It won't be, done in day one. Exciting stuff. We get it. But really quickly, I want to highlight something that I think is super important and that I hope is either addressed by Capital Games, or if it's not addressed, they just, fix it before the raid comes out. And maybe it's even part of their plan that they just haven't told us, but okay. So we all know that theoretically, new raid, you can only use certain teams. You're going to be able to pick your difficulty. There'll be new raid currency, and the rewards theoretically, where's the rewards thing? The rewards theoretically will equal all of the raids, right? All the other raids are kind of adjusted for this new reward track, yada, yada, yada. I think the biggest problem is not going to be for people who are going to be able to do this raid. I think people who are going to be able to participate in this raid are going to have a great time. They're going to have fun. Ideally, if Capital Games isn't lying, they're going to get great rewards, blah, 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 blah. The real problem that I have is that this game is all about catch-up mechanics, and raids have a huge catch-up mechanic, which I guess is no longer possible in simming. Simming is a massive catch-up mechanic for new players entering the game, right? You no longer have to squeak and grind away to get your 6 Han Solo shards for a year before you can get Han Solo. You can sim very frequently and get a 7-star Han Solo, 7-star General Kenobi, 7-star Traya relatively quickly compared to how you used to be able to get it. And those are 3 of the most important characters in the game, right? Those are 3 of the most important characters in the game, especially if you're an early free-to-play player. Now that you can only do 1 raid at a time, I'm worried that there's going to be a massive limitation to how many shards of these very important characters new players are going to get, right? So on stream, I mentioned maybe the new raid currency, if you're in a guild that does a lower version of the Krayt raid that's attuned to the 150 million GP, 100 million GP, like those new players, maybe some of the raid currency can be used towards, getting shards of those characters. But someone mentioned that, well, that kind of nullifies this currency, because then this currency kind of just doesn't really do anything because it's replacing that, and you're not going to have access to all the cool stuff that the raid currency is going to have, which could be gear or characters or relic levels or whatever, right? So I don't know, and I would love you guys to say something in the comment section. I don't know what the solution is. Maybe it's you get 4 times the shards of these raid characters in the raid so that you can do them faster. Or maybe I legitimately don't know. Unless they have the Krayt tuned to where it truly replaces 4 continuous raids, and I guess if you're a lower GP, like a 150, 100, it'd be 3 continuous raids. You have the tank, the Sith, and the Rancor, because you're not doing C-Pit, but you're still getting shards. I don't think they addressed how that's going to happen, and I think that is a massive, massive problem for new players, and I would just like some sort of update from them, or, they probably won't give us an update because they probably have no idea, but I'm hoping beyond hope that when this actually hits the game in a couple months, that, there is something taken into consideration for all of those 100 million, 150 million GP players who, are not going to do the Krayt raid. They're not even doing the C-Pit raid because, well, the C-Pit raid's gone now. But they need their Traya shards. They need their GK shards. They need their Han Solo shards. They just got their CLS. They're working on a couple of bounty hunters. They might have 5-star Chewbacca in a couple months. They need that Han Solo, right? Players, believe it or not, are still playing the game at the early level. I get that, this game kind of gears towards those 7, 8, 9, 10 million GP players, but there are still players in low GP guilds who are still trying to farm up their core teams, their core raid characters and stuff like that. So I hope that this gets addressed. I don't know if it will be. I don't know how they'll do it. I will look in the comment section to see what you guys have as far as suggestions, and I look forward to a response from Capital Games.